Physiological size. That's like a fake intro since I don't do any editing. Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. My coffee machine is here. So now I can have coffee again. It's going to be a great week. Let's see. David and I have been listening to Dr. Andrew Hubbermans these past couple of weeks. Just really fascinating the things he has to say about the neurological system and the brain and things we can do to control it. He calls them hacks, but I don't really consider them hacks. I just feel like the more we learn, the more we can learn tools that'll help us. So he's on the Rich Roll podcast, which David really likes, but it's really dense. It takes me a long time to get through. David's listened to it like 4 times. So if you have the time and the patience, that's a good one. I really like him on the School of Greatness podcast because he's not a scientist, so it's like dumber down version of it. And it makes it easier for me to listen to. But anyway, he talks about this one tool of how to control the mind when we're feeling anxious or overwhelmed. And I just thought it was really cool as far as like a quick actionable step to start implementing. So I think this is really obvious, but I think it's worth saying. You can't control the thoughts with thoughts. When I'm feeling depressed or sad or angry, you can't tell yourself to just stop being angry. It doesn't work like that. Let alone if your spouse tries to tell you to stop. Like, it's just not going to work. So you need to control the mind with the body. The nervous system innervates our entire body. If you take the nervous system out of the body, it still looks like a body. You know, if you've ever been to the Bodies Museum, the nervous system's like floating around in those things. It's the spinal cord, the brain, and then it innervates all the way down to the tips of our fingers, the tips of our toes. And we all know that, but the connection I didn't make that I found it really interesting when he was talking about is when you're feeling anxious or sad or any other emotion, it recruits that emotion recruits your entire nervous system because it's a thought which involves the nervous system. So you feel anxious all the way down into your fingers, all the way down into your toes. It doesn't just hang out here. So it makes sense that you would have to recruit the body to help mitigate those feelings. And we all know things like, you know, if you're depressed, you need more natural light, more full spectrum light, more movement. But when we are sleeping, or crying, or sobbing, our body automatically does this breath when it detects states of stress. So when we're sleeping, the alveoli in our lungs, which are tons and tons of little sacs, start to collapse, and there's a buildup of carbon dioxide. So our body reads that as a state of stress, and it takes 2 quick inhales through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. You might notice this better when someone's sobbing. They go, why 2 inhales? He uses the example of a balloon. When you're blowing up a balloon, you do 1 and then 2. It really pops it open, and that's what pops, that double inhale is what pops the alveoli open. So it helps you clear out the excess carbon dioxide and bring in oxygen. So this is something that we can do on purpose, and usually with an autonomic system, automatic, you can't do things on purpose. It just happens, your heart beating. But the diaphragm is so cool because it's made out of skeletal muscle, and we can control that ourselves. You can purposely breathe a certain rhythm in a certain way. And when you're able to consciously take control over that, you can take control over the rest of your thoughts. So we've all heard that, breath is really helpful, but I just like understanding the science behind it. It helps me implement it. So I will admit I have not used this yet when I'm anxious or overwhelmed. I don't actually, I'm a type of person that doesn't really need this so often. I need more of like a Kapala Bhakti breath, fire breath, to get me moving, because I tend to be lazy, and so those are the kind of things I need, which is not recommended in pregnancy. So I'm kind of lost right now. But the other day, David was he was doing something in the morning that required him to, he was packaging a bunch of packages, so he was really busy and he had to get it done before he went to work. So I could tell he was feeling kind of overwhelmed, and he just walked into the kitchen and I saw him do this. He was like and did several rounds of it, and I just thought it was really cool to kind of see something be implemented that we've been studying together. When your circles are implementing things that you want to implement in your life, it kind of lifts you up. And I'm going to be working the next 6 days in a row, which I'm usually part-time, so I'm sure I'm going to be using this breath over the next week, and I'll let you know how it goes. Let me know if it helps you guys at all. And I love you. I hope you have a great day and a great week. See ya.